Um,
I just recorded.
okay, so I am an insurance broker.
Yes.
I'm licensed in 47 states, and not only do I do insurance, but I'm also a writer too. So yeah, but I got into the insurance industry about 27 years ago. I'm dating myself, girl. But yeah, 27 years. I got into the insurance industry, and I've been here ever since. And I'm happy to be here because I am helping our people in this field. So it's been a great thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for choosing. You said that you're also a writer, like you write books and poetry and things of that nature.
I write almost everything you could think of, but mostly I started my career as what you call article writer. So I write different articles for different websites and things like that. I was doing that heavily about 10 to 15 years ago. So yeah, which is a good thing. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So what made you decide to get into insurance, selling insurance?
Yeah, so I actually fell into this industry, and a lot of insurance people will tell you they did not plan to be in insurance because you don't grow up talking about I want to be an insurance agent. You know, that's not a kid's, that's not a kid's goal. But I did fall into the industry. I remember I answered an ad in a paper. Now we're going way back, y'all, when we used to look in the papers for jobs. Okay. Answered the ad in the paper, came across a man. He was a white guy. He was looking for someone, like an all-around person for his office. He opened up an insurance brokerage, and actually he taught me the ropes, even though he turned out to be not so good to me after I started my employment with him. But he showed me the ropes, and I was I'm not going to lie, Arlene, I was fascinated more with the money than anything. And I was so shocked at how much money you can make in this industry. I'm like, wow. So, but as I became inculcated into the industry, I just knew that this is a place where Black people need to be as well. Because there weren't a lot of us in the insurance industry, so.
I am happy that you decided to get into the insurance industry. You're correct as far as not many of us is in the industry. I think someone propositioned me to sign on with Primerica, and I wasn't interested in. I didn't know much about it. I just don't think that that's where my expertise would be. I may be cutting myself short. However, you're already on that wave. So I've gotten excited when I heard you at the refile. So why don't you tell the audience how many states you're actually licensed in or with?
Yes, I'm licensed in 47 states.
Okay.
47. So we service a majority of the United States of America here.
Nice. I love it. Okay, and so can I ask, are you have heavy clientele in all states, or where is the predominant or the majority of your clientele, if you don't mind me asking?
Of course not. No, I don't. We do have clientele in most states, but the majority of my clientele comes from Ohio. I have to give a big shout out to the Cincinnati, Akron, Ohio area, Dayton. Thank you guys for all the love. It's not a day that doesn't go by that somebody from that state reaches out to me and gets a policy. They are one of those states where if they like you, they're going to spread the word. I love them brothers and sisters up there. I thank them so much. But I'm also heavily in the state of Georgia. A lot of my clients are in Georgia, Ohio, Texas is another state that we're heavily involved in. Those would be my top 3 states. We were heavily involved in California at one point. That kind of slowed down for some odd reason. But, yeah, those are my major states where I would say the majority of my clients derive from.
Awesome. Awesome. Can you please tell the audience, thank you very much, you guys. I'm so happy that we found her. Like Yolanda is a gem, and I'm definitely going to use your services because I do need insurance. Can you please go into letting us know what type of insurances you offer?
Yes. Okay, Arlene, I insure virtually anything you can think of. I can even insure your pinky toe. That's my slogan. I can insure your pinky toe. Because if you really need that pinky toe insured, we got a market for you. Okay. But a lot of my clients come in, they need mostly business insurance. So I insure a lot of small businesses. You'll be shocked at how many black-owned businesses there are out there. And every day, especially as black women, we are creating businesses. So, yeah, mostly commercial business. And then I also am heavily involved in life insurance. So those are my two niches.
Nice, nice.
Although we can do auto and home, we can do everything. Like I said before, y'all, we can do everything. Auto, home, renters. If you have an apartment and you need renters insurance, we got you. If you're hosting an event and you need event insurance, we're big on that as well too. So yeah, give us a call.
Okay, I like that. So you said that, yeah, like events like big house parties and things like the uh, Labor Day Festival in Brooklyn. I'm quite sure they need festival insurance for the day. So,
Mhm.
oh wow, okay, okay, I like that. Thank you very much. So now with the business insurance, can you let us know? I guess is there a way you can break down the type of business insurance you provide and
Mhm.
like what will the cost be? You know, is it cost effective for those of us that have smaller businesses? How is this going to work for us?
Yes. So I'm happy you asked that question because one thing a lot of us black people we don't do is insure our business. We think we start an LLC and that's all we need to do. But you would be shocked. You really do need business insurance. And there are like two types of business insurances that a lot of people overlook. One is the general liability, and one is a business owner's policy. Now, with the business owner's policy, a general liability is already built into that policy. So those policies protect you, your business, from anything that may happen, like if you do damage to a third party, or if a person comes up to your business and they slip and fall and they're injured, or even if you go to someone's place of business or someone's home or wherever you're doing the business at and you damage their belongings, your business owner's policy will cover you for those types of incidents. It also covers you for, let's say, for instance, your business is interrupted because there was a pipe that burst in the street and you can't open your business. Your business will give you business interruption insurance. Like that's also built into the policy, and you can file a claim and get money back for the money you would have made in your business had that pipe not burst. Your business covers you for the business owner's policy covers you for advertising injury. So if you made a mistake on any advertising and somebody wants to sue you because of that, you're covered. It covers you for places that you rent. So it gives your business renter's insurance. Even if you're renting space out of your own home, it gives you renter's insurance. The policy is so expansive. People just think, oh, it's just insurance. No, it is covering you for a variety of things that you may need. So, and also if you have a really good policy, you can get cyber liability, which is something that is very needed these days with all the cyber hacking going on. Okay?
Wow.
So it's just an expensive policy. And the thing about it, Arlene, you'll be shocked that the policies are not that expensive. Some policies start at only $300 for the year, and it can go up. So that's another misconception. People think they're going to be spending thousands and thousands of dollars on business insurance, and it's not true. Not at all. You can end up only spending $30 a month, if that, on a business owner's policy.
Thank you so much. Okay, I want to hold right there, being that you're so expansive in providing this information about insurance. I had my show last week was about deed theft, and one of the things that I've learned that homeowners can protect themselves from deed theft was getting title insurance. Will you be able to provide title insurance to homeowners as well?
You know what? That's one thing I cannot do. Oh, my goodness. It's so funny. One of my best friends, she's actually opening a title insurance agency. So that's one of the insurances. And I just said I can insure anything, even your pinky toe, right? But title insurance is one of those things that we just can't do because that's a different ball game and a different market.
Okay, that's okay. It just had me tweaking, like, hold on, we can get a one-stop shop here, but this is still one-stop shop. Yes, thank you. Okay, so now you said it can run us about maybe $30 a month, if that, depending on the type of business insurance that we get, which is, I thank you. So let me just use my business model as an example, right? I am a civil and family and divorce court mediator for the state of New Jersey. Right now, I serve 6 counties on the court roster, but private mediation, I can just mediate throughout the state of New Jersey. What of insurance would I need to have for my business model? I also have a nonprofit that I am not necessarily working just yet, but I'm in the midst of doing so. I do a lot of work from home, though. What type of insurance will I need to have?
Now, first of all, for the mediator business, one core insurance you're going to need is professional liability. All right? And that's a little bit different from general liability. Actually, you're going to need a package policy, which gives you both professional and general liability. So since you're like in the legal field, sort of, the professional liability will cover you for anything that you do professionally that will hurt a client. So if you make a mistake, you file the wrong paperwork, or you advise the client incorrectly, and it hurts them or injures them in some sort of way, your professional liability will cover you for those incidents. I highly recommend that you have that type of policy, especially with what you do.
Okay.
And then, of course, the general liability, again, will just cover you for the business itself. If you go to, like, a courthouse and you damage something and the courthouse wants to sue you, the general liability will cover you for that. But professionally, anything you do, Arlene, professional liability is needed.
Okay.
Yes.
And in that, I can also include my nonprofit.
No. So is your nonprofit a separate entity?
It's a separate entity, yes.
We'll have to cover that. Because remember, your mediator business is just that, your mediator business. You cannot combine 2 types of businesses together and have the same policy. It's not going to fly. Even if you're working out of the same office, you're doing 2 separate things. That's like almost mixing a homeowner's policy up with an auto policy. You can't do it. You need 2 separate policies to cover 2 separate things.
Okay. Now, I am a notary, and I'm also including that into the package. Can I include my notary services under my mediation business, or should that be separate as well?
Are you practicing your notary under a different name?
It is just under my name, Arlene Ramsey.
Oh, yeah. Then you will need to get notary insurance. Now, notary insurance only starts at $250 a year, girl. So it's very inexpensive.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really inexpensive. So that's something that you should have just anyway. But especially like if you're notarizing real estate deals or just like, lawyer documents and things like that, you're going to need that separate. Remember, so you can't really mix apples and oranges up with each other. I know a lot of people who have different businesses, like this person over here, like one of my clients, she has a barbershop, a hair salon, and a cleaning business. And she wanted to combine everything together, and I told her, no, you cannot do that. Now, the barbershop and hair salon, as long as the name is the same, she can combine that business together. But the cleaning business will have to be a separate entity because she's doing something totally different outside the scope of barbering and beautician duties.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I thank you very much, and thank you for letting us know that this is not going to be heavy on our pockets. Now, what about home insurance?
This is another thing that us Black people do not do, even though this is the most important thing to have is homeowners insurance. Because say, for instance, there's a total loss on your home. Fires happen, theft happen, natural disasters happen. You want to make sure that your home is protected. Straight up. You want to make sure your home is protected. And we missed the mark with that because sometimes we just can't afford homeowners insurance in some cases. It's very expensive, especially today. But what I suggest people do is they shop around. Even if you have to shop around once a year for your homeowners insurance, just to make sure that your price stays at a good rate, do that. Do that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Callers, if you have any questions, please let me know. And until then, I'm going to go on and ask about life insurance and the different types of life insurances that exist and what you think is best for us in our community.
Ooh, girl, there's so many different life insurances, y'all. First of all, before I start, I want to say please be wary of the internet hustlers that are out there telling you you can make so much money in your life insurance if you do this, that, and the third. If it sounds really good and they're not explaining how you're going to make this money in your life insurance, run from them and do not listen. Turn off your YouTube, your Instagram, your TikTok, whatever, and do not listen to them because a lot of these insurance gangsters is what I call them are selling a good dream to people, but they're really not explaining how this can happen. There's a big thing that you can utilize your life insurance as a bank, which is true. You really can. But no one is giving people the real deal on how that works, okay? So there are different life insurances out there. Whole life is one of the most popular ones. That's the one where you can utilize your policy. You can utilize it as a bank because you're able to save money on the back end of that policy. It's almost like having a savings account in addition to having a life insurance policy. So it's doing two things. You're saving money, and on top of that, it's protecting your life in case you pass away. All right? The next one over is term life. Term is a temporary policy. It only protects you for a small amount of time, whether it's 10, 20, or 30 years. After that time is up, your policy expires. The next one over is a universal life policy. Universal life, it works like a whole life policy where you're able to save money on the back end. The difference is how that money is invested with the life insurance companies. I do not like universal life so much because at the end of that policy, your money that you have inside of it sometimes dissipates and goes away. All right? Okay. Then there are those other policies like the guarantee issue policies that a lot of older people get when they get older. I know you guys seen those commercials for pennies a day. You can get life insurance, when someone gets like older. Yeah. So those policies are good. Like if you have a senior at home and they do need a policy and it'll cover them. But the kicker is this. If you get a policy on an older person, they have to live for 2 years before that policy pays out. If they die within the 2 years, the first start of the policy is not going to give you the life money. They'll give you the money that you put into the life insurance, like all the money, like the premium you paid, they'll give you that back. But they're not going to give you the face amount of that policy. So and there's more policies. You know, those are the main ones that a lot of people get. Or Arlene, there are so many insurance policies out there, like life insurance, that you can just get into. There's life insurance policy for businesses. If you're in a partnership and you need to insure the partners, buy-sell agreements in case, you know, that one of the partners die and you need to buy out their portion of the business. So many different types of life insurance policies exist. Yeah.
Oh, that is interesting.
It's endless. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, for here.
But I do want to talk about whole life. I'm sorry?
Yeah, Joffrey here with a question.
Okay, Joffrey. Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up about that business and partners. Isn't it true that businesses are taking out life insurance on their employees?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yes, they do, all the time. So, yes, sometimes, like when an employee goes, they actually sign those the paperwork where they get like $20,000 if they should die, you know, whatever. Sometimes the businesses own those policies, so you have to be very careful that you sign over a beneficiary on those policies because businesses will take that money. I do recall a woman at my old place of employment. She passed away, and she did not name a beneficiary on one of those policies, and the business ended up reaping the benefits off of that policy. So, yeah, they do take out insurance on their employees. That is true.
Okay.
So employees must do their due diligence and list a beneficiary on those policies.
Okay. Now, I look at life insurance policy as not being beneficial to the person that's paying the premium. Now, we hear on the internet about universal life and index universal life and velocity banking and all that kind of stuff. But I say when I get life insurance on me, I'm betting that I'm going to die. And the insurance company is betting that I'm going to live and keep paying the premiums.
That is true.
Doesn't that about? Okay, I thought so. All right.
Yeah, no, that is true. You're absolutely correct. You're thinking you're going to die. They're betting that you live because, of course, the longer you live, the more money they make, you know, as far as you giving them money for the policy. So that's why you have to you have to make life insurance work for you. If you are a younger adult, I suggest that you do get a policy that will reap you some type of financial benefits. For instance, if you take out a whole life policy and you're like maybe like 20, 30, like between the ages of 20 to 40, you take out this whole life policy and you put the premium, you paying your premium every month or every year, whatever, that policy will be, you can utilize that policy in your future, in your retirement years, because again, there's a savings component on that policy. It's like having, again, a savings account or a 401k. The money that you put into the policy is being saved on the back end. That back end money is generating dividends. Anytime the life insurance company makes money, they give it back to you in the form of dividends. So now the money that you have on the back end is compounding. It's just adding up. So within a 20-period time, oh, my God, you will see so much cash just sitting on the back end. I suggest any young person that's out there to get that type of policy. And the reason why is because you don't know what's going to happen to you if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, or whatever. But you can utilize that money, and you'll have that money as a safety net. It's almost like a forced savings account. And say, for instance, you take the money out of your insurance policy. your insurance policy is not going to expire or go to waste. You will always have that face amount still on your policy, that whatever the face amount. So, for instance, if your death benefit is $50,000, you take out all your money on the back end of the policy and you pass away, your beneficiaries will still get that $50,000, even though you took out all the money in the policy. And say, for instance, you don't take out the money in the policy, your beneficiaries will get the $50,000 plus the money that you have inside the policy. So it's like almost like you can't lose with those policies. It's a good way to save for your future.
This is not a whole life, is it?
That is a whole life. And some people utilize those with the index universal life policies. Again, I do not like the index universal life policies, and this is the reason why. It goes according to the S&P 500. So however the stocks perform is how your index universal life policy is going to perform. Sometimes brokers overpromise the performance in the index universal life policy, and it will underperform. In some cases, not all the time, but in some cases, this has been the case. This is why I advocate for whole life, because whole life it's more of a slow growth investment. They mostly invest in mutual funds and things like that. So it's like you can't lose. You will always gain dividends inside of whole life policies. The majority of the time, 99% of the time. There is that 1% where a company may underperform and you're not earning a lot of interest. But with whole life, you cannot lose. You just can't. I prefer that over an index universal life policy any day.
Okay, I think I have two more questions, if I may. Okay. Now, when you borrow against the policy, see, everybody gets sold on that. Oh, after so many years, you'll be able to borrow against the policy, and you can choose whether you want to pay it back or whether you don't want to pay it back. That's a whole life policy, and they're actually reducing the face value when they do that. Am I correct?
You don't have to get a policy like that. Yeah. So you don't have to get a policy. So remember, each company is different. You can actually get a company, like for instance, I represent Penn Mutual, which is a company where you can borrow the money from the policy, or you can take the money from your policy, and it will not diminish your face value. Your face value will always stay intact. So, for instance, if your face value of your policy is $50,000, okay, and you take out all the money on the back end, say, for instance, on the back end you have like $100,000 sitting there, and you take it all out. If you pass away, your beneficiaries will still get that $50,000 as long as the policy is still active.
Okay. Now
there are policies out there like that.
For banking, what's not really being highlighted is you have to overfund the policy. Meaning, if your premiums are $9 a month, Colonial Penn, you would put in, say, $90 a month. And now you're overfunding. And that way you call yourself borrowing from your life insurance when they're really giving you back money that you already been taxed on that you've overfunded the policy with. However, there's a MEC limit to that, isn't there?
Yes.
MEC?
So you have to be very careful with overfunding your policies. I hear a lot of people saying that, I'm going to just drop money in my policy, blah, blah, blah. Yes, you can do that, right? But at the end of the day, if you made too much interest in your policy, guess who's coming to get your ass? The government. They're going to come out, they're going to have their hands out, and they are going to ask that you pay taxes on all the money that you overfunded and gained interest on. So you have to be very careful with those type of policies. which is why when I go into write policies, I kind of encourage my clients not to overfund their policies, to stick with a certain amount so that they are not being double taxed, all right? So, yeah, you have to be very careful because your life insurance policy can turn – usually when you utilize a life insurance policy, you want to make sure that you utilize it for tax benefits, meaning you're not paying no taxes on it. And there are ways that we can write it. You just can't really put too much money into the policy because as soon as you do and your policy gain a lot of interest, man, the government's going to come around and have their hand out asking you to pay taxes on that money you made inside your policy. You don't want that.
That is interesting.
Thank you very much. I yield.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Anyone else have any questions? So, Yolanda, you state that, I'm sorry, pardon me, want to make sure I heard you correctly, that if we did take money from our insurance, this is something that we may have to pay taxes on.
Yes, if you're, and it depends. Not take money out, no, because you could take money out and you're fine. If you put money into your policy, right, and your policy, if you put too much money into your policy and your policy earned too much interest, the government is going to ask that you pay taxes on that interest that you earn. Now, you want your policy to grow without you paying taxes on it. There's a way to do it. There's a formula that us insurance agents, we know what to do. Okay. And also the insurance companies know what to do too, because they got the formula where your policy is going to grow tax-free and you won't pay no taxes on it. But for the people that are greedy asses out there that want, I'm dropping this so that I can get this much interest, yeah, you go right ahead and you're going to pay taxes on that money that you're earning. Okay. So you have to be very careful how you set your policy up, because when it becomes or if you earn too much interest in your policy, it becomes what is called a modified endowment contract. You don't want it to do that. Okay. Because when it becomes that type of policy, because it earned too much money in it, then again, you have to pay taxes. You have to learn the mechanics of your policy so that it can grow tax-free. So that all the interest that you're earning in your policy is just being paid to you tax-free. Thank you. No penalties. Okay. You can't beat that. You cannot beat that. That's why all these people walking around, especially, I hate to use them, but Caucasian people walking around here, because they're utilizing their policies in a way that they were always taught. That right now, us black people are getting pretty on, and they're earning all this interest. They got money coming out of everywhere because they know how to manipulate these policies in order to have a good future for themselves. Okay. And set themselves up for their retirement. And that's just what they do.
Okay, so now for me, I'm going to be 50 in December, right? So at 49, what type of insurance should I take or get?
So what is the goal here as far as an insurance product? Like if you were coming to me, right, in my agency, and you told me that, because we're the same age, sis, right? I'll be 50 as well, too, this year. Okay. So what is the goal? What do you want to establish? Do you want money for your future? Do you want a second income as you age when you get into your 60s and 70s? Or do you just want a life insurance policy to cover you in case you pass away and you want to give something back to your beneficiaries or I don't know if you have children or not, but if you want to leave money back to your kids or something like that.
Okay.
Those are the questions.
Can something that encompasses all three. I don't have any children though, but
Right.
when I still don't want to have a bill someone else to pay for, my burial and such.
Yes, I totally understand. So if I were you, I would use life insurance to benefit my future. So this way, you have life insurance two ways. Again, the money, you can open up a whole life for yourself. So the money that you're putting in is not being wasted, sis. It's being put on the back end of the policy so that you can borrow or utilize against when you get a certain age or for just when you get older.
Okay.
So right now you'll be 50, right? So
yes.
if you want something that you can really have in the next 15 years that you can benefit from, a whole life policy would suit you well.
Okay.
Because you're still young enough to get a nice rate. That's the good thing.
Okay, I really, because that's been a major concern. It's on my list of things to accomplish, and as you know, it's we don't feel comfortable without insurances and things like that, right? That's one thing with
Right.
a job that gives us that safety net, and then when you don't have it, we have to create it for ourselves. So I really appreciate this information, and just listening to you explain this, because I'm telling you, I'm always lost when people explain insurance, and I don't know if it's
yeah.
I don't know if it's just on pins and needles about it, or if it's maybe because maybe they don't know enough about it. I don't know, and I don't want to get into it. But
They don't know enough about it because we should be able to explain insurance like as if we're talking to a third grader, straight up. You know what I'm saying? So if you walk away from the conversation and you're not understanding what I'm saying, then that means that I'm not doing my job, basically. I do want to explain another scenario to you, Arlene. Say, for instance, you come to me and you say, Yolanda, I got a 401k, I got a Roth IRA, I got plenty of stocks, I got, this, that, and the third. I don't need insurance to save any money in. What can you do for me? I will put you in what is called a guaranteed universal life policy. And that policy is a policy where you don't gain no cash value from it, but it just gives your beneficiaries the insurance to bury you with in case you pass away. That's it. A lot of my clients who are very well off or set up, meaning they have a lot of stocks and bonds and things for their future already, they get that type of policy just for burial purposes, just to give to their beneficiaries in case they pass away. That's a good policy to have as well, too.
I never knew something like that existed. Thank you for that.
Can I slide back in
here? Yes, go ahead.
This is Joffrey again.
Okay.
Yes,
you know the Primerica way. Now you have a term policy. You can get a term policy, $500,000. You young ladies could probably get that for what? $40 a month. $500,000.
And I don't condone Primerica products. I do not like Primerica.
Well, I'm not talking about their products. I'm talking about their concept.
Okay,
so
and I don't like their concept. The only reason why, sir, is because they're predatory to the black community, and there's a lot of their business practices that a lot of people don't know that keeps black people from making as much money as they could in their highest potential. And if I can go on another show to explain to you why I feel this way. But go ahead.
Okay, that same $500,000 policy, whole life policy, will probably be around $120, $130 a month for you young women. Notice I said you young women.
So
right?
if it's a $500,000 whole life policy, there's no way it's going to be $120 a month. There's no way. That's too.
There's no way it's going to be more for you?
Oh, yeah.
Or you're saying it's going to be less?
It's going to be more.
Oh, it's going to be more. Oh, okay. All right. I underestimated the cost of whole life. Okay. However,
America.
did I underestimate on the term?
Term is about right.
Okay, so my thing is the Standard & Poor's averages when you put your money in the S&P 500, it averages 7 to 8% a year. They actually say 10, but I think it's 7 to 8% a year. So if you got the term at $40-something a month versus the whole life, and you consistency put the balance into the S&P 500, you would do better. You would do better than if you just had a whole life policy. Yeah or no?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no. I like that question. I love that question. I get that question a lot, right? Okay, so on one end, yes, if you are a smart investor, okay, a very smart investor, you can put that money into S&P 500 and potentially make 7 to 8% every year consistently, right?
Mm-hmm.
The difference is with life insurance, you have the potential of making a little bit more depending on what policy you go with, okay? Depending on which company you go with. It could be a little bit more. Okay. And for instance, or it could be a little bit less. For instance, most life insurance companies, they tell you that the dividends that you earn inside your policy is between 3 to 5%. That's just something they estimate. If you go with a great company, man, they've been giving people 9% every year. 9%. That's more than the S&P 500. That's why I say yes and no. It can work for you. It just depends on what you want to do. Now, with life insurance, the reason why I say I like it a little bit better is because you have two things going for you. A life insurance policy in case you die, and then on top of that, a savings component that's earning dividends. So the S&P 500 doesn't have that. They're not going to give you something in case you die.
Gotcha.
But the life insurance policy is doing two things. Savings, a savings account with dividends attached to it that can grow up to 9, 10, 15%, and also a life insurance policy in case you die. It'll give you that policy to your beneficiary. It'll leave that to your beneficiaries or your estate. I hope I'm making myself clear with that.
Yes, you've made yourself very clear.
I understand. All right, thank you. I yield.
You're welcome, sir.
Anyone else have any questions? I see a lot of people are on the line. They're listening. Okay, and so Yolanda, because we have a few more minutes, the show concludes at 8:15. This is May. Yolanda, in June, I'm going to be reaching out to you because I want to start off with my business insurance first and then work my way up because, again, I'm a small business owner, but that's not going to, this is not going to be forever. And things are picking up pretty quickly for me this year, which I thank God. So I'll be able to get myself some good life insurance. And with your expertise, I know you're going to place me well on what I'm going to need for my future. And I appreciate you for that. Anything else?
For sure.
You would like us to know in regards to insurance? And do you think this requires another show to have you on at another time to discuss more insurance?
I mean, yeah, we can. I will say this. If you pick a specific insurance topic that we can cover, we can go, because insurance is so infinite. It's a whole bunch of different topics, terms, and whatever we can cover. But yes, just pick a topic, we can go with it. But really, what I would say to the audience is be wise, leave your beneficiaries and your family a will and not a bill. Okay, I always say that. Leave a will and not a bill. Too many times when we pass away, we're holding fish fries and all kinds of stuff. Okay?
Right.
Because we are not prepared. We should stop embarrassing our kinfolk like that and get ourselves together, get a policy, all right? Or even if you don't have a policy, fine. Have some money in that bank to bury yourself with, all right? Do something. Leave a will and not a bill, please.
I'm going to jot that down. Leave a will and not a bill.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh yes. It's important. It's important that because it's financially responsible, it's humanly responsible that we take care of ourselves while we're in this realm. Okay? And if you don't have any beneficiaries, just make sure that you have yourself set up. You don't necessarily need a lot of insurance, but you're going to need something.
Right. Or, have insurance and let's say pay for all those things in advance so all of that is pretty much taken care of.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. That's another thing. Yes, Arlene, some people actually pay for their burial plots and everything before they pass. They already got it all set up. So if anything happens, their funerals paid for, everything, and they don't need life insurance. You sometimes don't need life insurance. If you take care of certain things, you may not need life insurance. Most people get life insurance because they're trying to leave something behind for their families. They want their families to be taken care of in case something happens to them.
Right, right. Thank you so much.
Another question.
Sure.
I can. Okay. Now, Arlene is interested in insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Why you instead of John, who is an insurance agent? You are a broker. John is an agent. Why you instead of John?
I can tell you why.
You asking me?
So,
why? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I can tell him why exactly. I'm happy he asked that question because there is a difference between a broker and an agent. I'm a broker. This means that I can go anywhere and get you insurance. I represent over 250 insurance companies. That's how many insurance companies are under my business. Whereas John, who's an agent, only has one insurance person that he can only represent. So, for instance, if John is an Allstate agent, he can only sell you Allstate products. That's it. Whereas me, a broker, I go into the market. I can get you Allstate. I can get you State Farm. I can get you whoever it is. Like I go into my database, and we look at the best company with the best rates and the best products, okay? That's what we look for. So I'm able to go out in the market for you and really explore and get you what you need. That's why I can virtually insure anything, even your pinky toe, because as a broker, I work with so many carriers who carry so many different types of insurances.
Now for Arlene,
yes.
Did you get that?
I did.
Did you get that?
Yes.
And I asked that question even for every senior that may be on the line here. You know, from October 15th to December 7th, we go through that Medicare thing. When you're dealing with an agent, according to the agent, this is the best deal. But when you're dealing with a broker, they can search and find the best deal or the better deal.
Correct.
So that's why I brought that up, and I thank you. But one other thing, let me tell you something. If I drop dead on the street today, My children don't have to bury me. My siblings don't. I don't. Of course, I'm dead. And guess what? The state's going to take care of the lump of clay that lays there. I yield.
Okay. And why is the state going to take care of it?
Well, the state believes that they own us anyway. So it's their responsibility. They can't leave you. They can't leave you out. It's a health hazard to leave you to just decay.
Yeah.
So
that's true. And they'll put you in Potter's Field.
Yeah, Potter's Field. Yeah.
And I won't know the difference.
You won't know the difference, but your family would probably want to bury. So this is the whole thing. When you die, right, there's some people, they can't help it. They don't got no family, no kin, no nothing, or they're like Jane or John Doe. Nobody knows who they are. So they got to be buried in, unfortunately, those type of graves, right? But if you are heavily connected to family or friends or institutions, whatever, they are going to want to give you something respectable on your way out of this world. It's like a send-off. We all have a send-off. This is why there are funerals held, or memorials held for people who pass away, so that they can give you a proper send-off. And that's what it's really all about. You're right. The state will bury you. They'll put you anywhere, but you don't want that. You don't want to be your remains to be next to someone, that didn't give you love. You don't want your body handled, your vessel to be just handled any type of way. It's your vessel.
I agree with that. Right? I agree. And you want to go with some dignity. We have no control when we come in here. We don't have no control over our childhood, the things that has happened that we cannot control. But the things we can control, I would rather leave out of here dignified.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Arlene. So will I. Because my sisters already know what to do with my ass. They know I'm going to burn me up and put me in the river. I'm serious.
Right? Thank you so much again. Anybody else have any questions for Yolanda? Or a statement, if there's no questions, a statement or anything? Okay. Mr. Nance, for us, you're on the call. You have any questions for us? You trying to say something?
This interference.
Hold on for a minute. Let me get the other phone. Hold on, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised Joyce didn't say nothing. But anyway, Sister
Thank
Spivey.
you.
Thank you for what? I thought you had something to say, Joyce. Okay. But anyway, I know you said you was checking on some insurance, but I'd like to thank Sister Spivey for coming in, and
excellent.
It was good to hear her voice, and she's a abundant wealth of information. And I will be reaching out too because I already had a policy from way back from my mother and father, but I was thinking about a second one. I'm 69 now, so I'm looking for the best deal, Sister Spivey. So I will be calling you so we can have an off-the-cuff chat. And I enjoyed you over there at the refile with King Simon. That was
wonderful. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was sitting right next to Arlene. So yeah, we had a wonderful time, and I got a call, Brother Simon, because when we took the picture, he said, "Call me, brother. I'll give you an interview." So that's my man.
Yeah.
I love that brother. But wealth of energy.
He's waiting for you too. He's waiting for Arlene to call him too for an interview.
I'm gonna call him because he's coming on I come on the same network that you dialed in, Sister Spivey. I air at 6 o'clock on Saturdays. We have 24 different shows on this network.
Oh, so, wow.
So we worked hard. Arlene didn't tell you. Wow. So Joyce didn't tell you either. Wow. Okay.
No.
But other than that, sis, keep on. I'm gonna reach out to you personally because I definitely want to get a policy. All right, and thank you for coming in, and appreciate your knowledge and just coming in and just giving us sharing what you know. And like I said, I always say on my show, share and support. I always make sure I go to our people first, and hopefully they're well intentioned in their heart, so that this way we don't have to go outside and deal with as much as possible. We have to deal with a European, and that's not being prejudiced. I think Malcolm said it.
No, it's not.
He said it's just being. He said, listen. He said they got enough sense to take care of themselves. How come you don't take care of us? We don't take care of each other the way we should. So
right, exactly.
I promise you, sis, I'll be reaching out to you. I think Joyce needs some insurance. So come on, Joyce, you need some insurance, don't you? Peace and blessings, Sister Spivey. Appreciate you.
Listen, I have insurance, but listen, they can use this body to. If you can use any part of it to help somebody else. Please, no funeral. I don't believe in funerals. I don't understand people walking by saying, "Oh, she looks like herself." That's barbaric to me. You don't know how people look when they're sleeping.
That is so true. Wow.
That's my opinion. Nobody else has to agree, but that's how I feel. I having a funeral.
No, I like that. I agree with you. That's why I am opting to just be memorialized, if that makes sense.
Well, memorialize me. Go and help at a soup kitchen. Do something to help somebody, and say,
I like that.
I'm doing this for you. If you only do it once. So I don't believe in all that big funeral, and I don't understand the concept.
Yeah.
Nobody sees you in your bedroom but your mate and your children when they want something. But you're laying there with lipstick and makeup and a nice dress. Get the hell out of here. It doesn't to me. It doesn't.
Right, I know what you're saying. We should take it back like how our ancestors did. There was a celebration when people passed away, and they didn't go through all that whole putting makeup and stuff on. None of that. You know, it was just like they buried them. You go back in the ground. You go back to the dirt, and you just, you know, it's like a big circle of life. Your body go back into the ground, you know, replenish the land, okay, and so forth, so on.
Food for somebody.
Yeah. Exactly, okay.
Donating this body to medical science. If it can help somebody, if my heart, it can help somebody to keep on living. If my eyeball, I got 20, 30 vision, take the eyes. I don't care. What will I care?
I hear that.
You can't see when you're dead anyway, can you?
Okay, you got me scared, Joyce.
And I was quiet until he badgered me.
I know he told you to get off on here.
Well, you got me scared, Joyce. Joyce.
She's pure joy. Your name is who you are. Joyce, joy, you are pure joy.
Yeah, Joyce.
I enjoyed the information you gave. I probably will want to talk to you in private about something.
Well, Yolanda, if you want to leave your phone number, wait, guys, it's now 8:16, and so the show concludes at 8:15. Yolanda, do you want to tell everyone your phone number out loud?
Yes, I can.
Or pencil, I will drop Yolanda's number to the group. Go ahead, Yolanda.
Yep. It's 201-759-8158. You can also text me on that line, too, if you need to. 201-759-8158.
Thank you all for coming out. Brother Forrest, please help me with the show that comes after mine. I want to say it's Mr. Graves is up next.
It is. Bill Graves at 8:30. Then after that, we got Baba Joe out of Brooklyn.
Then after that, Baba Joe out of Brooklyn. You all, thanks for coming out. I'm going to lead you out with some Bobby Womack, 110th Street now.
And don't sing, Joffrey.
Thank you for that, Arlene. Yes.
You. There was a nightclub call up across 110th Street. Nice nightclub. I met John. What was his name? I met a singer there. Yeah.
Arlene, we're going to have to get you on broadcaster.
Doing whatever I had to do to survive. Saying what I did with all I had. Trying to figure out the middle of the day-to-day fight. That's all.